What's going on, everyone? So welcome back to another episode of Traction Off Media.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Today we're going to be reviewing this F30 BMW 330d. So this car boasts 245 brake horsepower and 465 Newton meters of torque. It's a 3 litre straight six single turbo diesel, and it's owned by Ben.
I do. Welcome to what will undoubtedly be the most boring video in the history of, what's your channel called?
Traction. Okay, so we are literally just about to go for a drive. I haven't ever driven this car. I've driven cars similar.
You driven my M2 though, you did drive that?
I drove the M2, yeah, like an absolute angel.
Like a, I don't know what you were like. It wasn't a pleasant experience.
Why? You enjoyed it?
No.
Right, let's get going then.
I think that was the last time you drove one of my cars as well.
No, it wasn't, because I drove the E46.
Oh yeah, so you did. Oh yeah, sideways. Why did you bring your dildo?
Right, so Ben, how long have you owned the car?
Well, I've had it for like, how long have I had the car? Could I about? Not that long. What? Like 4 months? 4 months? 5 months? Yeah. So basically, is it still on?
Yeah.
I bought this car because I tried to daily my 06 Cabriolet E46 M3 in Titan Silver.
Cabriolet, you sound like such a woman when you say that.
Well, it's a woman's car, isn't it? It's a Cabriolet. Do you know what I mean? So I tried to daily that, and
where are you going off?
not only is it got a slightly leaky roof, but
is the roof leaking?
Only slightly, you know, just lets in the odd bit of moisture.
Bit of moisture.
Yeah, it just gets a bit moist inside, you know. And besides that, it's just not a dateable car. It's like, it's a fucking great car, and I've genuinely always wanted one, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted. Yours is the first E46 M3 I've driven, and ever since then, I've wanted an E46 M3.
They're sick. Straight six, no turbo, 300 and...
Is it S50?
It's an S55.
S50.
No, it's not. It's an S... Fuck, what is it? 6 M3 engine. It's a... S54, I knew it.
S54, that's it.
We can cut back in now. Yes, it's an S54, and we knew that from the off. So it's got one of them, and it is great. You know, this obviously goes without saying, it's ridiculously bad on fuel. Like,
it is the M3 though, isn't it? It's the M3 to have. So have you ever driven an E36 M3?
No.
So the E36 M3
wasn't that 2 litre? Or was that the E30?
E30 was a 4-cylinder, wasn't it?
4-cylinder 2 litre.
Yeah. But the E36 M3 is the only M3 that shares its chassis with the rest of the range. Right, and so back to the car. Yeah. Right, I've been driving this car for about probably 6 miles at 40 miles an hour because these cars just can't get out of the way.
You're getting it straight here. You're going to go forward.
I don't know.
Oh no, it's tractor.
Yeah, on roundabouts. It's traction control on.
You're in sport. Don't go sideways. You're in sport. But I never put this in sport because it's just, I don't know. It
holds gears, doesn't it?
It holds the gears too much because there's so much torque down low, as you've just experienced. There's no point having it in sport. If you ask me, just goes. It doesn't need to rev that high.
You can see why the police use it.
Yeah. Well, they use remap 335s, don't they, or 330s?
The E90s they used to have were 335Ds, yeah, but 335Ds were fucking insane.
They are. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can map this. This isn't far off a 335D. I don't want to be that guy that says, yeah, it's basically a 335D, right? But it is, because all you do, it's missing a turbo, that's all it's missing. I'll put you back in comfort now.
But you feel the difference there.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Jump off then, yeah, just jump off. Yeah, the response in sport is a lot better, because it's got,
that's sport choice.
With it being what they call the twin scroll turbo, isn't it?
Twin scroll, yeah. So you've got two turbines in the housing, I think that's that way.
I won't pretend to know.
2 wheels.
Yeah, 2.
You've got a big wheel and a little wheel, so the little wheel helps with the spooling.
Yeah, so it spools a lot quicker in sport, I think. It pulls a lot quicker down low. That's what I mean about the tyres.
Sideways.
Don't you fucking dare. But the thing is, you can map these. It's 250 standard, right? And I know the torque's more important with diesels, right? But I don't know what the torque is. You know.
Torque is 465 foot-pound, which is a fucking lot of torque.
Is that a lot? So I don't know torque very well.
That is a lot of torque.
So yeah, it's got a lot of torque, right? I usually go Newton meters. So it's got a lot of torque, but yeah, if you map it up to you can map it up to you can get 300 out of it. I think a 335D is around 309 or something.
310 on, yeah, 39, 310, something like that.
And you can map these to 300, which is close enough, isn't it? And you get the torque as well. It's just, and then you can go down the route of more turbos if you want, or a bigger turbo. That's not something I can really be asked to do. For me, there's a lorry. I don't chuck it about like you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the most of a thrashing this car's had in a long time.
It wasn't even a thrashing, mate. Were you fucking fair?
Sorry, I forgot you don't know how to thrash a car, do you?
Me?
But
show you.
But yeah, with what was I saying? So yeah, obviously I didn't buy the E46 to be comfortable. I've always wanted one, bought one, and I thought I'd be able to put up with it being a daily, but it turns out I'm too much of a fairy, and I wanted an automatic gearbox and something to do more than 15 mpg as well, which is
You
nice.
wanted the perfect daily. That's
Yeah,
what
that's what this is.
And how much you pay for the car?
I sold it to myself, so I paid less than.
What you should have.
Well, less than you'd expect. It was, I can't remember exactly what it was. I think I got it for around 17, 18 grand, which for a 16 plate.
On the mileage, it's on.
That was only a few months ago.
It's not even on 30k yet.
Yes, it's 5 years old. It's around 5 years old now. It was on 24 when I bought it. I put 4,000 miles on it in a few months somehow.
It's all the women you've been meeting.
It is, yeah. I meet them really far away.
so they don't turn up at your house.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, MPG wise is what I was trying to come around to. I've driven. I think the longest distance I've done in this car so far was from Stafford to London and back, right? And it achieved somewhere in the region of around 55 to 60 mpg, which sat on the M1, the M6 M1. You know, it was absolutely fantastic. It was the comfiest thing, you know, I could imagine really driving. They've got average cameras through it.
Yeah, it's auto, so
it was comfy as fuck. Yeah, but it's auto as well, and it's a ZF8 speed. So in 8th gear. This is what, paired with the 6-cylinder diesel as well. In 8th gear, this will sit at 70, 80 miles an hour, about 1500 RPM, which is where you are now doing 30, right?
Yeah.
At 1500 RPM, and it just glides, mate, just wafts. Do you know what I mean?
That's what you want, though, isn't it?
And you look at the trip computer, and it's doing 55, 60. It's costing you fuck all to move. The road tax is like 140 quid as well.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, can't fault it. I know that they're not the most exciting things to talk about with it, but it's a daily, and it's like.
This is what I wanted to do with the channel. I wanted to show that that you can still have a fast, economical, comfy daily.
It is an all-rounder, mate.
It's an all-rounder, yeah.
It's 5, right? Bitches, obviously. It reminds you if it's 5, that makes me bitches.
I've just got to what
it's
you
4
said.
bitches. 4 bitches.
Including use of 5 bitches.
And a stud. It's 5 bitches, yeah. You know, plus 2 in the boot.
Plus 2 in the boot. The ones that are already in there, and I can hear them rattling around.
Yeah, surprising because they're long dead. It just pulled it as a passenger. I feel it.
That wasn't it. That was about 25% throttle. Then,
honestly,
right? I didn't even kick down, did it?
I don't think it did. Well, that's what I love about this. It doesn't kick down because I've had an F. This isn't my first F30.
No, you had your F30 when I first met you.
I had an F30. Yeah, it's F30 320D, and you know, at the time I thought it was great because it was the best car I had at the time. This was years ago. You know. But what I've realised, and I've driven 320Ds recently as well, and what I've realised after this is the biggest difference with this motor compared to the 2 litre 4-cylinder is that this has got so much below 2,000 RPM.
I was literally just about to say the low down torque on this. It literally 1,500 RPM, and you've got almost full power.
Yeah, it doesn't. You do pretty much. I reckon I haven't seen the torque figures, but I reckon it peaks somewhere around 2,000, which is not a massive surprise for a diesel, but the amount of torque you get below 2,000 RPM is so good around town. And when you say pulling out of town during the motorway or whatever, when you put your foot down, it doesn't always drop a gear, and it doesn't have to. Sometimes when I first got it, I was thinking, surely if it dropped a gear now, at this point, we'd have more power, but it just doesn't need to. It just pulls straight away. You're aware there's a corner there?
Yeah, we're not doing that fast. Steering gets a bit light under heavy acceleration though.
What, you're in Sport Plus?
I don't know.
Yeah, you are.
It's almost as if it's like lifting off the floor. We're only doing 60, it feels like we're going a lot faster.
You think?
Yeah. Right, let's see what it's like from a standstill. Okay, so...
I don't know how to do launch control.
I won't do
This
launch,
is
I'll
as
just
close
put it
as you
in.
get it, so put the gearbox into Sport.
I think you have to put your foot on the brake.
Don't try it, because you just like the transmission. Go.
Launch control active. Oh my god, we go sideways though.
It twitches a bit, yeah.
Okay, so automatic, so it's easy as anything to drive, and it sounds quite nice for diesel. Quite like it. The steering's nice and connected. You can feel the road in the steering, which is quite surprising considering it's electric steering. Usually you want your older cars with no electric steering. Just go sideways a little bit if you wanted to. You put it back to eco or sport, or comfort should I say, and you're just gliding along now. So we're doing 60 miles an hour on a relatively flat road, and it's just like you're sitting in your living room. So if we decide that we want to go a little bit quicker, plant your foot, you don't need to downshift, it does a kick down for you, and it's just linear the whole way through. You can't even feel the gear changes, you can't feel any sort of drop off in power. You get up towards the top of the rev range between 4 and 5, and there is a slight drop in torque. You can feel it not pull as much, but the car still accelerates. And as a daily, that's what you want. You want it to be able to overtake, you want it to be able to be comfortable and not cost you an arm and a leg to run. So what I do want to do is take it down a country lane, if that's all right with you, Ben, just so I can do a proper sort of review. So we've only really driven it on main roads. Now, if you own a BMW, you've either got money or you've got a good credit file. So you probably have a nice house somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So let's try it out. We're not in a Defender, there's a Defender, but we're in a BMW.
Can I get you from a bit higher up here?
Get me from wherever you want.
Right.
Is this pay me like one of your French girls? But it's pretty much single track. I wouldn't want to be going too fast down here, and it's not the smoothest, but I'm comfortable.
How did you find the driving position?
I've never been a fan of BMW driving positions until I drove Mikey's 135.
Yeah.
And because you're more lying down in these, you can stretch your legs a bit more. Whereas in my car, it's like you sat on an actual chair.
Yeah, I feel that with the Audis as well.
I feel a lot lower down in this.
Yeah.
And I feel a lot more.
You can get low in these, but I think with you do feel like you're sat sort of. You do feel like you're sat more sort of upright with the Audis, no matter what you do with the seat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's enough of that, mate.
So it does kick out a little bit if you want it to. That was only a little blip of the throttle then. I reckon we could get it sideways if you wanted to, Ben.
Yeah, not on this occasion, maybe.
But we're on a public road and it's not safe to do it, and it's not my car.
And there's an ape behind the steering wheel. so
I could happily drive this car all day, every day. If I had a job going from Scotland to London, this would be the perfect car for it. But a lot of people get mistaken about with the Msport badge is that it makes your car faster. Doesn't do anything to the engine, does it?
No, it doesn't do fuck all.
Absolutely nothing to the engine, gearbox, or anything like that. All it does is lower it 20mm, and you get different bumpers and styling, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I wasn't that impressed with your M2.
Yeah, nah, I wasn't, mate. I mean,
it was fast, don't get me wrong, it was fucking rowdy, and I only really drove it in a straight line. So Ben, as an owner's point of view, what would you say are the pros and the cons?
What, in general?
Yeah, just in general of this car.
Well, you know,
this particular car that you've got.
Well, I can't say there's nothing I can really say bad about it. Really, there's not. Honestly, there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, you know, the compromise you make getting a diesel is that it sounds like shit, isn't it? Really, but
I don't think it sounds that bad.
Yeah, it's a 6-cylinder, so it sounds better than your average.
It growls, doesn't it? It's not like it's like a Tapatee Mark IV Golf 190 TDR. What I'm going to have a quick go at is
overtaking that Golf by the looks of it.
Car history.
Yeah. Oh right. Yeah.
So
I've had a few.
Go from day one to now. From
first car, right? Not the most interesting. 1.3 CDTI Vauxhall Astra J. Was it Astra J? I don't know. But yeah, no. And then what's after that? I had a frozen white. I can't remember. No, some white. I had a shitty Zetec S 1.6, but it was before. That was an 11 plate. And it was before the EcoBoost engines, yeah, which, you know, they're all right. It wasn't like one of these ST lines with an EcoBoost or anything. It was just a Zetec S 11 plate, and that I believe was a 1.6, 120 brake horsepower VTI, had variable cam timing.
What, the Fiesta?
4-cylinder petrol. Yeah, it had variable.
Oh, the 1.6 Zetec.
Yeah, the 1.6
Zetec S.
Yeah.
Mate, you are literally a lawsuit for Durex, you are.
What's up after that?
Is it the Beamer?
Yeah, it was a Beamer, which it was my E92. E90, is that right?
E92,
the coupe?
Coupe E92.
Yeah, so the E92, it was 6-speed manual. It was only 320D, but I really liked it. It was my first good car.
First proper car, wasn't it? Yeah,
first proper car, mate. And it was on 313 rims, and they were sick.
So let's talk about your insurances then. So you've had some
I've had some Larry motors, mate.
You've had some Larry motors that...
I've had some cars that I've had no right to have whatsoever.
And you've always managed to nice it off with insurance.
Yeah, I don't know how.
So the first
the
expensive insurance car I'm guessing for you would have been the United 2.
That was, I think that was a bag.
And how old were you?
19.
19, so that's not bad. But the 140 then, so that was your first proper fruity car, wasn't
140.
it? That was one, yes. One of them.
What are the chances? It's not like they're fucking everywhere or anything.
I mean,
you're not E46 M3 cab in Melbourne red.
Is it?
Yeah.
Probably should have going.
Squeaky brakes, that's because they're high performance. You should know that if you're a car enthusiast.
Yeah, but they're not high performance
They are.
discs, they're just Bogo
No, they're
stainless steel discs.
They're carbon fibre discs. They're carbon fibre discs.
Fibre discs with 12-pod brakes, mate. I'm going to tell you what, let's see what the public think of my BMW.
Don't, you've done it once, that's more than enough.
Next person we see.
You've just done that.
I'm going to pull over and I'm going to have a chat with him about my BMW.
Oh, God, I'll be sick.
Do you like my BMW?
Ben, the buttons are red.
Yeah, I know it's red. I've got my foot on the brake. You wrong.
I thought you were going to do it to her and then we'd have to sit here. Like,
Sorry.
Just close the window. Yeah, so anyway.
I want to point out one thing though. I do like how it didn't sound too dissimilar to that truck. I'm sorry. Fun, mate. So we're in Sport Plus. No, I was going to say, because we could maybe do a little.
No, don't, no more of that. I want my tyres. I genuinely no
Just
more.
one
of that.
more.
No, don't do that. No, I'm serious. Don't do that. Serious, no, don't do that.
Just one
You're
more.
in comfort. No,
Just one
no
more.
more. No, I'm
You put me in Eco
right,
Pro,
You're in
man.
Eco Pro.
Do I look
You're
like a
staying in
vegan?
Eco Pro. Yes, you do look like a vegan, actually.
Mate, this is.
What time was that?
140.
M140. I went and saw that. I couldn't. The M140, the deal I got on it was ridiculous. But I still don't understand. As a car salesman,
You got that from BMW as well.
Yeah, I got it from BMW brand new. I spec how I wanted it, right? And I still don't understand how they did that car as cheap as they did. As a car salesman, it's arguably the best motor I've had.
Really?
Arguably the best motor I've had, because the M2, as good as it was, the biggest killer for me for the M2 was the DCT box. Now, yes, I'm sure it's great if you want to track around the Nürburgring or whatever, and that's the sort of thing you're thinking when you're buying a car like that.
Very
right?
aggressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
not good for traffic.
It's 7-speed DCT. It's not good for traffic. It's just, but they're the sort of things you're thinking of when you're buying it on track, whatever. I've never been on a track in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Right? I drive from Stafford to Stafford, right, to work.
Why did you buy that car? Because you could.
Small penis.
Small penis syndrome.
Small penis.
Fair enough.
I haven't got the syndrome. I've just got a small penis.
I mean,
After the M2, I did a complete backflip, right? And just like for a number of reasons, bought a Fiesta ST.
What?
And there's a lot to be said for that car.
You said to me when you got that Fiesta ST, because I said to you, because you said, I'm getting a new car. I said, oh, fucking hell, what are you getting now? Thinking M4, M5 with it being you.
Bugatti.
I'm getting a Fiesta. And I just said, eh? And then, a couple of weeks afterwards, you said to me, that Fiesta is 10 times more fun than the M2 was.
It was more fun, and that's going to sound ridiculous, right? To anyone who's maybe even, I don't know, maybe even someone who's driven both cars won't understand that, right? But it was just to go. I think the biggest difference was that I loved the gearbox. It was a Mark 8 Fiesta ST, and I loved the gearbox on it.
And they're a hoot.
And it was an absolute hoot, that car. I loved it, but it was just, you know, there was obviously it's nothing like the M2. I can't believe I'm even comparing the two, but there was something more fun about it. There definitely was. I don't know why.
Okay, so my general consensus of this car after driving it for nearly 2 hours now, what time are we on? Yeah, nearly 2 hours now, is it's like a Swiss Army knife on wheels. It's 55 to 60 miles per gallon on a run. Round town you probably get 35 to 40, which still isn't bad. But on the other side of the coin, if you do want to get somewhere quickly, it's more than capable of doing so. The 3 litre straight 6 single turbo engine in this car, boasting 245 brake with 465 foot-pound of torque, is plenty. More than plenty for what you need, especially in a daily. But overall, I'd give this car a solid 9.5 out of 10, I think, Ben. Yeah.
Downhill.
This is the perfect daily in my eyes. If I had the money to buy one, I'd go and buy one today. Oh, that's closed. If I had the money to buy one, I'd go and buy one today. But I do have a 320i that has been mapped up to 303-ish brake coming on the channel soon. So that'd be a good comparison. And that one's manual.
F30?
Ryan's.
That's an F80.
It's not. F80 is the M3.
Yeah, I know. But it's Ryan's, isn't it? So
Oh
it's
shit!
F30.
Yeah, shit. Sorry, Ryan, bro. If you're watching this, sorry, mate. I did forget that you you bought the M3 in the end. You didn't get the 320.
F30. F30s are for paupers like me.
But yeah, over general consensus of this car, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. For usability, economy, and comfort, it's, you know, all three of them I'd probably give a 9.5 out of 10 for, considering the car. So obviously you're going to get cars that can get 70 to 80 out to the gallon, but you're going to look sad driving it, and you're going to feel sad driving it. Whereas with this, you can still feel respected on the road, can't you? It still has a road presence. Whereas if you're driving around in a Yaris hybrid, sorry, the word hybrid.
I'd have a Yaris. The thing is with me is that
I'd have the Yaris GR.
Yeah, no, I would still.
I'd go for the Yaris GR.
Yeah,
every day of the week.
I'd go for the Yaris hybrid. I'd still look cool in one because I've got Ray-Bans.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.